You don't look like yourself. I'm sorry.
What?
You've done something weird.
I haven't done anything weird. You told me to take off my last cap because I looked like I had a chopper bike outside. So I've just put on my bashed up hat.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine. Oh. Morning, everyone.
I think we need to get one of those influencer lights so we look nice.
We did have one.
Where did the fuck did it go?
I think Toffee's nicked it.
Oh, God.
Toffee, is it in your bag? Bag?
Anyway,
in your bed?
so you're getting... Where is Toffee today? What's she up to?
She's like a
I swear to God,
she's a lioness.
It's as we set up for the live, she goes there.
Did you see
she
my
knows
post?
That people are going to comment on her.
Did you see my post yesterday? It looks like a thoroughly staged shot of Toffee with a super noodles bowl. That is exactly how I find her. Every time I take a photograph of her in a bed, it's how I find her. She was guarding her super noodles.
We never ever put anything in that basket.
No,
she
not
is
in
a
the basket. We put
kleptomaniac.
stuff on her head
I just said to you
sometimes.
this morning, it's got out of hand there.
Oh.
She's got my lovely new soft scarf. How did she get that?
She's got your scarf. She's got Toffee. Chi-Chi received over Christmas a spool with film on as a kind of toy to play with. Toffee's nicked that. Toffee's nicked all the toys. She's just terrible.
But anyway, how are you? Never mind our dogs. How the hell are you?
Yeah, good morning. Happy
Tell us
Bernie.
how you are
Debbie
in one
Sanderson.
word. How are you? We don't want the bullshit. We
Kathleen
don't want
Clausen.
the fine. Tell us how you are.
Janice Muir, Laura Lawler, Linda Tyler, Andrea Liberatsky, Maria S, Kirsty Jane, Anne Marie, Brenda M, Bev Hartnell, Janet Smith.
Hang on, let me just say hello here to Anne Marie. Good morning to you two. First time for a live. Love listening to your Instagram.
Aww.
Oh, lovely. Welcome, Anne Marie. Welcome, welcome.
Oh, look, Brenda M called her puppy Toffee too. Tired and stressed, says Kirsty Jane. Great, it's Friday, says Melanie Gibson.
Now, let's just talk about that for a minute, because on my Instagram now, just then, everyone was saying that you've put something like hashtag fucked up Friday on your Instagram.
Well,
what's your post about?
Well, I posted a photo of me with an old bottle of liquid heroin. Essentially saying...
Of course you did. How silly
Once
of
upon
me.
a time on a Friday, if someone had plonked that in front of me, I would have gladly and gleefully...
come on, you never did heroin.
No, I didn't do heroin, but what I'm saying was if it came in a bottle, I would have drunk it. That's
You
the
would have drunk heroin?
Of course I would.
Mark!
Under every
It's
set
been
of...
17 years sober, just in case this is your first time ever visiting us.
I've done some ferociously stupid things with various substances.
We all done so much
in the
stupid
wrong,
stuff.
up the knot, in the ear, you name it. But yeah, no. So I was just talking about how hashtag Fun Friday, which I fucking hate, hashtag Fuck Off Friday, would always become a hashtag. Sorry, we do swear on here if you're a bit sensitive.
Can you say?
Oh, hang on. Became hashtag Fucked Up Friday. That's where it came.
But can you say ironically hashtag Fun Friday?
No, because you can't put irony into a hashtag.
I suppose you have to do it with your face.
Well, no, you'd have to write something.
So if I did this on my Instagram and I went hashtag Fun Friday, would you think I was really saying it, or would you think I was taking the piss?
I think you're a total twat, and I'd spool on.
Oh, it's Dawn Bovin's 52nd birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Dawn.
Happy birthday
to you, Dawn. Happy birthday, dear Dawn. Happy birthday to you.
I think it's really fortunate that there wasn't liquid heroin being sold. I mean, I know there's always been liquid heroin, but it's not something you find in a pub. No. Or a friend offers you.
Don't you think in the old days it was?
Yeah, and I bet you any money. I was thinking that bottle of liquid heroin would have once been legal.
Yeah. This was a cottage we were staying in Camber Sands, had all these lovely old bottles of old medicines.
Yeah.
Maybe I think I'd quite like to get...
Yeah, absolutely.
I'd quite like to put that in our bathroom. I want to
a
start
bottle of
collecting
heroin.
Proper old medicine bottles. I used to love the Damien Hirst thing with all the old...
Oh, look, Nanny Di's in the room. Oh, Nanny Di.
Nanny
Hello, guys. Love you all. Miss you all. Still don't understand hashtag. Hashtag Nanny Di. Hashtag... What are hashtags?
A hashtag is something you put on a post that will send your post out to people that are interested in that particular thing. So there are theoretically. So, but there are also, like I will sometimes search an actual hashtag account.
Do you? I've never searched a hashtag
say
in my
when
life.
we went to Camber Sands, hashtag Camber Sands, and then I look for restaurants and stuff that people have recommended. Yeah. Whenever we go anywhere, I look at the hashtags of that place.
I've never done hashtag. I've never searched a hashtag.
Because I don't like TripAdvisor. I think there's an awful lot of just nasty people that go on there.
The only thing I have searched is hashtag condom tricks.
Now look, they've all gone away because they're all gone to look themselves.
For what?
Hashtag They're all searching.
Hashtag condom tricks.
Go on, somebody search that and come up with a really funny one for us, please.
It's the only one I've ever searched in my life.
Sandy's got blocked ears. Sorry, Sandy.
Yeah, should we talk on the right or is it on the left? Nanny Di had a bit of a blocked ear. In fact, I've got a bit of a blocked ear still. It's not a symptom of anything, is it?
That's quite boring.
These days,
it's getting boring.
No, but these days, every stupid... My toenail flew off the other day.
Please don't talk about it again.
My toenail flew off and I walked into our bedroom with it on the end of my nose.
Very good question, Gabrielle. Mark, why is the front of your cap chewed?
From doffing it so much to Boris Johnson. From, oh yes, my lord. Oh yes. No, it's from taking it off. But no.
Oh, that's true. Look. Mary Jane says there are bottles of heroin still legal. It's called morphine, of course.
Of course there are.
But not accessible. Not allowed. Well, I think what Mark meant was that you could just buy it in the shop.
Of course, there's always been
at the local Asda's.
Yeah. If you had a bottle of heroin on the shelf, you'd be like, yep, I'll have some of that, and I'll have some. What would you mix liquid heroin with? Tango, orange tango.
No,
This might
I
be
can't
quite
imagine
nice.
what it tastes like.
Yeah.
A Barocca, so that at least you're looking after yourself a bit.
You could just drop a Barocca in the
At
heroin.
one point, my worst
I'm sure my mum's done it.
in my worst drinking days, when I was like, but I was always moving towards being a healthy person, even when I was really, really bad. I had this shining light that one day I'm going to be this healthy person.
Yeah.
And so I got to the point when I was putting vitamin C tablets or Barocca with fizzy water with my vodka.
Oh.
To try and replenish my vitamins. I mean, how dumb was that? Okay.
Sorry. Sorry, I can hear us. I'm just going to turn us off in the background. Sorry, I've just lost a story.
Well, I can chat if you want.
Yeah, you carry on chatting.
So what are we starting with?
Not this.
Okay. I can't remember.
Army in the A&E. So Boris Johnson keeps insisting there's no problem with the NHS, but in London, they've sent in 200 personnel to support the NHS in London. Various hospitals have needed, I think they've got 160 general duty personnel, 40 defence medics. I can't remember whether at the peak of last year, did we ever actually send the army in?
No, there was talk about it around the heavy goods vehicles, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was. I don't think it ever actually happened, though, did it, guys? So, what should one read into this? That's the question. What should one read into this? We've just got someone who's arrived. So sorry, Nanny Di. But what are you saying? Sorry, we've just got something that's being delivered. Catherine Clausen, hi all. My 22-year-old son has had corona 3 times. First in March 2020, where he was really sick. Then Delta, December 2020. I'm not too sick. He's double vaccinated and is Omicron now. Still like flu. So we... Just 1 second. I can't concentrate at the moment. So, guys, do you think the army coming into the hospitals is a cause for concern? It's not Tim the Postman, unfortunately. Do you think it's a cause for concern? I don't know if I do. I do think Boris Johnson needs to stop being tone deaf about it, though, don't you? And he does need to kind of pull his socks up and actually sort of acknowledge that the NHS is under some pressure. What do you think, guys? Yes. Kerry J. Williams, yes. I'm so sick of Boris ignoring this dilemma, says Elijah's. You guys are lucky getting mail from the Royal Mail. It's non-existent here, says Alice Fisher. It's not the Royal Mail. We haven't had mail for ages. Ruth Blandford, if Omicron is milder, then why are so many people in hospital? It's a good question. A lot of people who are being sort of talked about in the statistics are in hospital with Omicron. And apparently, recent studies show that the vast majority of people in hospital with Omicron have caught it in hospital. And to reiterate what we were saying yesterday, no one's ever saying for a minute that because Omicron is milder, it's not actually quite severe for a huge minority or a large minority of the population. So Boris has Mark's toenail in his ear. He wouldn't want that because it would block absolutely everything out. It was quite a thing. I was putting a sock on, caught it on the edge of the sock, and it literally rattled across the room. I got goosebumps on my goosebumps. They were only deployed to help with vaccines, says Sir Lucy Williams. The NHS is at its worst right now so far, and definitely massive cause for concern, especially small hospital areas like Devon and Cornwall. Yeah, I mean, I think just because we have a less virulent variant, it doesn't mean that the pressure on the NHS is any less. But I don't know what we need to do about it. It's on the front of a lot of the papers today. It's a great headline, isn't it? Army brought into hospitals.
Well, it's a great headline, but what it also does is cause a lot of panic in people.
Precisely.
So there's a lot of headlines today, actually, that have really, really annoyed me.
Give us another one that's really
Well, the one from the WHO, don't be fools to think that Omicron is mild. But then you read into it, and again, it says it's mild. What they're talking about is that it will still have an impact on hospital services, which we all know. But what it actually made me feel and think in that moment was, oh my God, there's some hidden thing to Omicron where it's going to be more severe.
Yes.
And they know that when they put that. They know that because I clicked on it to read it. Idiot.
So it works.
The other one I didn't like was the bird flu one. I thought that was really inflammatory.
Can I just say about the bird flu though? I saw that story break about 2 days ago saying incredibly rare form of extraordinarily rare first man with 2 legs with a bird who owned a bird to get bird variant and something like that. They interviewed him. He was roaring with laughter, saying,
because he hasn't got a single thing wrong with him, and then he had to watch all of his 20 birds, whose birds were like his family. No, there was more than 20. He'd had them for 20 years. He'd been looking at, and they all had to be killed. Yeah.
Ashley Gardner, it's not mild for some, though. Everybody's different. Everybody will react to it differently. Very true.
Absolutely. Very true. But generally, Omicron is milder than Delta.
Maybe
and
something about the bird flu.
They're not. Oh, I see.
I don't know. No, it came through too fast.
And the thing is, that headline was absolutely produced to put fear.
As It's Only Me says, although the virus is less serious, there's more of it about. So staff shortages within the NHS is the main danger to people, as the quality of care.
But that's what the article said further down. But at the top, they would have you believe that they've suddenly discovered that Omicron was almost more fatal than Delta, which is not at this point true.
And Julie Neary says we have bird flu in Derby. I mean, it's becoming a dime a dozen now, isn't it? There's viruses coming everywhere. We have bird flu in Derby. More people die of flu, says Rima. This time around is worse for me. So the number, we're getting to a point where one day they're going to say the number of new cases is 6 million, aren't we? I mean, it's and especially if the population can get it once and then get it again within 10 days or after 10 days and keep retesting positive, there's going to come a point, I presume, where everyone virtually has tested positive, and then we have to move on. Is that right? Apparently they're going to start publishing statistics for people who are second positives. Is that right? I don't know. I read somewhere that places like Sky News will be able to add another roller to their roller.
Oh, God. When's that going to end? We need that to end.
The tally.
We need to hear more about staying healthy, exercising more, eating well.
Do you remember in London when there used to be the GLC, the Greater London Council, which kind of looked after, a bit like the mayor does now? There used to be a sign on County Hall which would have the number of people, the size of the population and the unemployed. Do you remember? Yeah. And it would never go up for ages, wouldn't it? So it was a really rudimentary artifact from the 80s of how they used to update things. Well, Sky News should do one for the population. It would be like, why don't they have a constant ticker? What would you like to see a ticker for? I'd like to see a ticker for the number of vegetables bought or avocados grown or something like that. Anyway, sorry, I'm going off on one now. Ghislaine Maxwell, we have a second juror in the Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm beginning to smell a rat.
Are you?
Yeah, this all just seems a bit weird that a second juror should reportedly admit to being sexually abused as a child. Why not say it before and feel you can say it after? I don't understand. There's something odd about it. So a second juror has admitted being sexually abused, and this impacted on the jury's decision.
You may have missed the news of yesterday, which there was a first juror who did an article just very quickly in the Independent, talking about how he'd been able to sway the other jurors because he had, in fact, sadly been a victim of sexual abuse himself, child sexual abuse. So it was one of the prerequisites that none of the jurors had been sexually abused. Now, he said that he hadn't seen that. He would have absolutely answered it honestly, but hadn't seen it on the form. So that was all bad enough. But then, as Mark says, today it's revealed that there's a second juror that also said that they didn't Did they? Was it saying they did? Or
absolutely.
are they saying they outright lied?
The second juror at the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell has reportedly admitted to being sexually abused as a child.
Now, what this could be, Mark, is not everybody wants to say if they have, and I wonder if this first person talking said, do you know what? I should admit that I was as well. It might not necessarily be dodgy.
Yeah. No, absolutely, but it just
I think everyone's so tuned to think that this trial was going to, because we know so many people in high places and important people could potentially be involved in this. We've always, haven't we, all been alerted to the fact, where's the con going to come in? How is she going to be let off so that these people in power, or people that were in power, can't be called.
Well, the judge in the case has asked the defence, Ghislaine Maxwell's defence team, to get their appeal in by January 19th. So that's not too far away. So we'll get some sense of whether the appeal is going to be sort of upheld and then there's going to be a retrial, or it's unlikely there'll be a mistrial. But then presumably they have to go through the entire process of auditioning and then casting a jury, and do we not just go on like this ad infinitum forever, or do they just put in bold, what your previous experiences are? I mean, it does seem odd.
Says she feels like they've been paid, so that it's a mistrial.
Yeah,
but that would be so unbelievably dangerous, because that would be found out, and you would get, God knows how long you'd get in prison for that. Yeah. I doubt that very much. I think But I just don't see how she can have a fair trial.
But surely, if you were one of the jurors who was told, and you were doing interviews, and you were talking about it, I suppose you would talk about it if you didn't think it, if you had missed it on the form and you didn't think it bore any relationship.
How could you miss it on the form?
But how could you miss it? And B, why would you necessarily give an interview so soon after the case? Or do you think some scurrilous journalists have lured them towards this?
No. Janet, don't tell me you've just had crumpets, because you know what it does to me. Janet's just had crumpets while
Don't start the crumpets.
Janet!
Don't start
Can we get some today, please?
All right, Christ almighty. Let's say a welcome to Mummy Bear Richardson, who's just joined as a family guest. If you do want extra content, there is the family guest area. It principally revolves around Sunday shows, No Name Sunday Show, which is a kind of magazine, food, madness at the weekends, and a weekly Members Live, which will be returning from next week. So you get that as extra content. It's about an hour to an hour and a half of telly, isn't it? That lands every weekend. So welcome, Mummy Bear Richardson. You can go and watch all the back catalogue if you wish.
Welcome.
Yeah, Nadia will destroy your name later.
This Saturday, because we've been away and just we haven't been able to shoot all the stuff that we would normally for Sunday show, we've got an exciting Saturday night show.
No Name Saturday Night Show.
No Name Saturday Night Show. And my friend Lee is going to join us live and do cocktail making. So we might get a little bit pissed. And I'm hoping that Dina's going to do a spot, because Lisa may or may not be able to do it this weekend, we're not sure. I'm hoping that Dina is going to do a spot recommending because she's a great finder of vegan.
She's a vegan. She's a vegan.
And I know lots of you are doing veganuary. Anyway, she's just funny anyway, isn't she? So that'll be nice. So I'm looking forward to it.
What do you call a vegan specialist? A veganist?
I think a vegan specialist.
A vegan specialist. Welcome, Joanna Waters has just joined. So yeah.
Welcome, Joanna
Lots
Waters.
of really nicely sort of delivered stuff there. Lots of tasty food. You get funny bits from Maddie as well. All the memes.
She's
really
our
funny shit.
18-year-old.
You get book reviews. You get cookery book reviews. You're going to get cocktails this weekend. So lots of fun to be had there. And that's going to be the only thing that lands on a Sunday now.
They love Dina. What a treat.
Yeah. No, she is a treat. She was absolutely hysterical throughout Vlogmas. Go back and check her out. She's more expletive than Lisa.
If this is your first time on the channel, go and check out our vlogs. If you don't know what a vlog is, it's basically our family reality show. Yeah. We do one every week anyway, called Home Time, but at Christmas we do one every day, and they're all still up, so you can watch them. Yeah. Oh, she is 19, Elsa Pop.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh my God, you now know the ages of my children that I don't know.
Yeah. Oh she doesn't. She's not aware of anything really. So there you go.
She's 19.
So second juror...
I've never said that once, that I've got a 19-year-old daughter.
That's bizarre, isn't it? How old are you? 57.
Yeah, I couldn't remember.
So second juror in the Ghislaine Maxwell case, that's frustrating. The army is in our hospitals, bizarre. And in schools. Who's got a kid at school today? Who's got kids at school today? And if so, are they wearing masks? Are they willing to wear masks? Because there's a big resistance coming in a lot of schools where a lot of kids are refusing lateral flow tests and refusing to be masked up. And I just wondered what you thought about this. Also, we're looking at something like 10% of teachers across the country are now not at school. So are they going to bring the army in, do you think?
Well, in our daughter's school, we got an email saying that there's 20% of them off with Omicron.
Yeah, and if you hit 20%, isn't that a trigger? Doesn't that trigger having to close the school?
I think just a bit past that would do.
I think 20% is the optimum number for, I think, a school having to close officially. High school, yes. One in primary, not. So I guess under a certain age, you don't need to worry about wearing masks and stuff like that. Whereas over a certain age, you're going to be hard pushed to get them to do it.
God, I feel like I spent more time at the door today.
Yeah, you've been up and down like
Now, what are people thinking about the kids?
Yeah, the kids.
Courtney, yes, our daughter went back in September to school. They were homeschooled for 6.5 years.
Yeah, my 11-year-old son is, and he hates it. I do too. It's ridiculous, says Sarah Downs. We got an email saying 25% of teachers off, so they're shutting some classes for a few days holiday. Yeah, I think it's different percentages perhaps for different schools. Me and why I had COVID, they asked me to bring my son in and they collect him from my car. No masks, says Shay Holly. Zivil Sikta, special needs, no masks, no tests. Kyra Beth, my son's special school hasn't reopened, and before Christmas was on and off constantly, nightmare for routines.
Oh, that is awful for you. That's so hard. And I suppose that's what they're trying to halt that by doing this. But you know, our kids will do what they're asked to do. You know, those are the rules and they're going to do them. But I 100% sympathise with these kids because it's rather like us. A lot of the rules, haven't we? We've just absolutely believed in them and we've done them happily. Other rules, we've done them, but we have questioned them, seriously questioned them. Like when you've had to get up and go to the toilet and put a mask on, all that sort of stuff. And the problem is with kids, I think they can't see the point of it. The second they are out of that school...
Sandy, we're not coming down hard on the young at all, quite the opposite.
No, we're doing the complete opposite.
Yeah, sorry, Sandy.
That when they come out of school, they are hugging and kissing and they come over at the weekends and they go out and they're all sat on a bed. And so to them, it seems ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I sympathise with them. And... classrooms are notoriously hot anyway. I would ask the government why they haven't sorted out the filtration that they've been talking about for the last year, how they were going to do that. And I think to some children, they see the rules as being silly. And then if you've got parents at home that are completely thinking the same, you're going to get rebellion, aren't you?
But also, I mean, I think tiredness...
Not even the Prime Minister wears a mask in a hospital as well, so,
Yeah, tiredness and a sort of, everyone's sort of like had enough of it. And so, that's going to spill through to kids. Sam Doherty, my son is 7 but age 11 and can't have his vaccine, but his classmates who are 12 get to have their vaccine. Makes no sense.
Oh, because he's a summer baby.
Yeah.
Well, that'll be because it's his body isn't right for it yet. I mean, that I would stick to that.
Yeah.
If they're saying not under 12, that's for a reason.
Yeah.
Linda, can you write down Linda because it's her birthday and we'll
Linda
sing her.
Fissett. No? Linda Fissett.
Oh, John Campbell is going to interview someone in Japan soon to see why the numbers are so low. But this makes me laugh so much.
Isn't it because they don't test?
It's because they don't test. They've stopped testing, which is, I believe, the way out of this now. I agree.
Yeah, but remember, for some people, needing to test is a part
No, but you can always choose to test. Like if you're somebody, like with my dad, who is immune compromised because of his heart, because of his operation, because of his, we would always test before we see him.
Yeah, but for him, he would feel safer if other people were testing. I think it's just important to see it from two perspectives.
I know that, darling, but I think the thing is, if this continues in the way that it is, and it's as virulent as the way that it is, they say it's going to be, and 8 out of 10 people are going to get it, we are going to be testing until the end of time. It's like, eventually we will have to get to a point where we stop testing.
Is there, we talked about this yesterday, is there a point at which COVID, a new variant of COVID, could become so transmissible it's no different to oxygen?
Maybe.
And in fact it is oxygen.
So everyone's always got a kind of a cold.
And so, no, but it's almost oxygen. So it's actually part of what makes you... Do you know what I mean? It's how and we talked about it yesterday. How transmissible can something get? something that's more
I mean,
transmissible.
we do tests. I mean, I do.
Yeah.
I don't have to do tests for
Yeah.
work.
I've
We're
done a
asked
few,
to,
yeah,
and I
yeah,
do. You know, we tested Kiki yesterday before she went to school because we're doing this because this is what we're asked to do. But I don't really have a great belief in it. I don't think it's going to make any difference.
Julie Neary, it does not help when they see Boris not abiding by the rules. Agree.
Exactly.
I just wanted to share this story before we get onto your health kick food myth busts. I thought this was awful. I don't know if you saw. I don't know if you saw this. Anti-vaxx activists targeted a COVID patient. A man who appeared in a BBC News report was targeted by anti-vaxxers because he was so ill with COVID. And he was called a crisis actor.
There's a lot of people that believe in crisis actors.
Well, I think hasn't poor old what's her name with Derek been accused of this too. There's this idea that there's crisis acting, that people aren't being fully honest about how ill they are. Kate Garraway,
Really?
I think the same. I think the same thing has happened with her, where there's this suggestion that there's no authenticity to what's actually being shown. And
so this was a young man. He didn't have the vaccination because he believed that he was young and it'd be okay. This was last summer, and then he got it, and then he got quite ill quite quickly, and then he had to go into hospital. He ended up on oxygen, and he just happened to be in on a day that there was a news crew there interviewing, and so he thought this will be a good thing to do because I'd like to now encourage people to have a vaccine because I didn't. I still absolutely believe that people should have the choice with vaccines. I hate the thought of anyone being forced to have a vaccine, but I also hate the thought of somebody that chooses to be treated like this. Thousands of horrible messages like you really will find yourself in hospital.
I'll tell you what I don't understand in all of this is, regardless of what your stance is on vaccination or not vaccination, is this kind of attitude. If someone gets it, well,
if I have to
what's coming to them. I mean, I don't understand.
If I have to say one more time that you still get it if you've got the vaccine,
but my point is but that doesn't matter. I'm talking about the judgment around vaccines. There seems to be like, if you got ill because you didn't have a vaccine, or if you didn't have a vaccine and then you got ill, but the anti-vaxxers get it. From both sides, there seems to be a sort of justified victim situation, and I don't understand that.
I have never once thought or said, bloody people that don't get vaccinated. I just don't think in those terms at all. I just think a lot of people are scared to have it.
Yeah,
and we have to respect that, and we have to try and I thought actually Chris Whitty was really good on that the other day. He wasn't. They were trying to get him to be nasty about people that had chosen not
Nicola
to vaccinate.
Randall, tolerance is key on both sides. I know, to gain any strange twisted satisfaction out of someone getting ill because they've made the wrong judgment on something, to me just isn't part of the story. It's ridiculous. But that said, Macron wants to punch anyone who hasn't had a vaccine on the end of the nose. Did you see that? Yeah, he wants to smack them in the face.
I do understand, like, if you're a very vulnerable person with your health, right, I can really understand why you might get, why you would get angry with people that don't get vaccinated, because you're thinking, oh my God, I'm always... And I get that, and I understand that, again, because that's human, of course.
Yeah.
But just generally, this general hate and division and anger towards, and this, the two sides, I just don't think it's good for us as a society at all.
Yeah. Welcome, Bev. I think you might have been a member before, but welcome back. What was I going to say? Can you give us a yes or no? Do you agree with Macron's suggestion that you should punch someone on the end of the nose if they haven't had the vaccine?
No, he didn't say that. He said, I'm all about pissing off the people that haven't been vaccinated.
No, he actually said, I'd like to punch them on the... He said, I'd like to punch them in the... Yeah, I mean...
He's a very angry little man, isn't he?
He's a bruiser, isn't he?
Macron, he's so angry.
Maybe, no. We shouldn't encourage... I mean, he's a world leader.
We need to get on,
absolutely.
I want to do some of my myth busting.
So hang on, so let's get on to myth-busting food topics. I've got them here if they're of any help now.
So first of all, as you know, I'm just so anti all these fad diets and all these promises from all these things that are out there at the moment. And I think it plays into people's insecurities and fears. And there are no shortcuts. Shortcuts are short term. If you want to get healthier, you have to just take it slow and you will get there. And there are so many myths about food, and actually some of the things that I've thought that I've believed in actually are being blown out of the water at the moment.
Oh, okay.
One of which of these myths is the body is cleverer than having to have protein within 20 minutes of exercising.
Right.
You know, I've always said that to you. That's always been the idea that if you do some weight training, you have to have protein within 20 minutes to mesh the fibers of the muscles back together to then build muscle. Well, apparently the body is far cleverer than that, and you can eat 4 hours after you've worked out, and you'll still be able to.
I always find these arbitrary numbers. I always think someone's just clutching at straws anyway.
Well, I just think, I mean,
that's an
they understand. This is great, because this is what I really believe.
This is an interesting one.
Right. Absolute number one breaking myth, and this is across, I've looked over lots of different articles today. This is actually from Women's Health, but there's so much now of this understanding. Sorry, Duncan.
Yeah, I'm bringing it back up. Yeah, don't worry. Oh, sorry. There you go.
So this is what I've said to you guys before, that cereal companies put a lot of marketing money into making people believe that breakfast is the most important day. Important meal.
This is in Women's Health magazine.
But really, as long as you're eating enough nutrients after training, your body will have what it needs. If you prefer a light morning meal, refueling, gusto at lunchtime is a perfectly effective strategy. The same goes for those on 16/8 intermittent fasting protocol.
Wow.
And it goes on to say that, you know, I mean,
I love to
basically, I start eating at 10 and I finish at 6. There is nothing faddy or weird about that. It is just absolutely, for me, works for me, stops me binging out here really healthily, really well. But many people would say, well, that's terrible to miss breakfast, but actually we've just been fed that.
No, absolutely. God, literally felt like you were feeding me there.
This one I love. Cutting carbs is the smartest way to lose weight. Myth busted. Not necessarily true at all. And we forget that there are carbs in things like in our vegetables, in our fruit. Those are all carbs.
Yeah.
And there are no real signs that people that are eating healthy grains and oats and all of that it's increasing the obesity problem.
Eating carbs raises blood sugar levels, triggering the release of insulin. There's an interesting detail there about carbs. Guess because they translate into sugar.
Which controls fat storage. Yeah. You need the last bit.
Oh, sorry.
But this is a normal biological process, and as long as you're feeding your body with the right amount of energy to meet its demand, then there's no reason you'll put on extra padding. So I've always thought that if you just cut out carbs, it's the most miserable existence. This is a really good one, because this was a myth that came out, I think it started to come out in the 80s, and my mum and dad lived by this for ages. For a minute.
Ashley said it's National Pass Gas Day.
Thank you, Ashley.
Everyone have a good fart.
So it says here, despite all the talk about burning, incinerating and torching, your metabolism is not a furnace. You won't stoke it with hourly kindling and smother it with a hunk of wood, which is actually, I think, the imagery that a lot of us have. Multiple analysis and reviews conclude that meal frequency will make little difference to your metabolic rate. What you eat matters more.
Well, would you not say
I used to subscribe to that for years. You've got to keep feeding your metabolism. You've got to keep burning. You've got to keep firing up. You've got to keep the furnace going.
Yeah. So can I just say an interesting one? The next one about quitting dairy leading to calcium deficiency. It's the breakfast one I thought was interesting, is that cereal manufacturers have really pumped this message out for understandable reasons that breakfast is the most important meal of the day.
They did all the research on breakfast. That's the only place it comes from. It's from breakfast.
That's my point. That's my point. It's a commercial incentive. Likewise, with the whole, you need calcium from milk. There's also a sort of commercial, there's always a commercial.
Well, it says here, milk does a body good was the 1980s marketing campaign that first positioned dairy as the antidote to osteoporosis. So, and for the roughly 40% of adults globally who have no trouble digesting it, dairy has its benefits, of course, because it has vitamin D, B12, phosphorus and all of that, and bone-building calcium. But tofu, soy milk, pak choi, kale, plus certain beans, nuts and seeds are all rich sources, which I thought were very relevant at the moment for anyone that's doing veganuary and people are saying to them, wow, your bones are going to crumble.
But can I be honest, when you run off that list, I see why I go to milk.
And well, that's what they say. If you like milk, go for milk. But if you don't, go for something else. Yeah, it's very sane, this. Yeah. Raw food diet is best for nutrient uptake. No, it's not. It's not for all vegetables. Tomatoes, spinach. There's so many things that actually work better when they're cooked.
Yeah.
And also, it says here, this interesting one, pairing foods containing fat-soluble vitamins What are you going to film?
No, I'm going to flick that thing off.
So things like tomatoes, carrots, mushrooms, asparagus, chard, kale work really well in your body if you put a little olive oil or butter. So cutting out fat. We know that's not good for us. It depresses us.
Someone just said drinking a lot more water is crucial. Let me do it. Is crucial for weight loss.
Oh, it's so important. If your body is dehydrated, it won't be able to burn calories, apparently.
Zoe says crumpets are great too, and everyone's agreeing with her.
I am going to have crumpets this
Fuck all
afternoon
this shit. Let's eat
with
crumpets.
butter. Yeah, I am. Anyway, there's lots more, and that's quite an interesting article. There's a lot of this. There's a lot of people agreeing with this. So this is in Women's Health. If you want to read the rest of it,
I think we should observe Ashley's identification of National Pass Win Day today. Hold on. Oh, no, I can't.
I would have murdered you.
I can't. Okay, can you? Can you
Mark!
fart at will? Can anyone?
Shut it.
This is a more pressing question. Can anyone here fart at will? Can you
Well,
say?
I've got a great story for you. If we're talking about farts,
If you can
I'm going
fart,
to get.
can anyone here just go?
No. You're not going to beat this fart story. Ashley, you brought farts into this, so I am going to beat you completely.
Deborah Holsworth, no.
Here we go.
I want to see if anyone can.
This post yesterday, see her? Right, this was on E! News yesterday. So,
Oh yeah, I saw this.
90 Day Fiancé star Stephanie Matto is stepping away from her fart jar business. Yes, she sells farts in a jar after being hospitalised, wait for it, for intense gas pain.
What, from doing?
Yes, you read that right. Yeah.
So
she was obviously eating a lot of foods to get gas,
Right.
to fart into a jar and then sell it, and she's had to be hospitalised.
Okay. Well, on that note, I think we need to do a group fart.
No, 1, 2, 3. We haven't done the happy birthdays. I'm not farting for it. I'm saying
There's
happy
a happy
birthday
birthday to Linda, and we've got a couple of welcomes.
Happy birthday to you, Linda.
Happy birthday to you, Linda.
Happy birthday, dear Linda.
Linda.
Happy birthday to you.
Are you a winder, Linda? Sorry. Welcome to Mummy Bear Richardson. What we do when you become a member of the members area is Nadia will destroy your name through song.
Yes.
I might join her.
And
now,
who am I
now.
doing first?
Mummy Bear Richardson.
Mommy Bear, Mommy Bear,
gorgeous.
Mommy Bear Richardson.
That's beautiful.
Mommy Bear, where have you been? Mommy Bear, welcome.
Can I say that was one of the most beautiful melodic ones you've ever done? That was quite something.
We've only got minutes.
Joanna Waters.
What happened at the top?
Joanna Waters.
Joanna
Joanna
Waters.
Waters.
Joanna
Waters.
Welcome, Joanna Waters, welcome.
And Bev Hartnell. Bev Hartnell back.
Welcome to
Welcome back.
the family guest area. It's 37 pence a week.
Lots landing on the channel over the weekend. Have a lovely Friday. #FuckOff Friday,
Yeah,
as we call
ninja
it.
competition going up today, Faith.
Ninja competition, 16/8 fasting, weekly rushes, all that sort of stuff. Lots of stuff coming. Lots of
Love you.
love. Go and check out the Pam and Tommy trade.